Good to see you today.
Good to see you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and how did Dewan Clayborn get his start?
So Dewan Clayborn is a former athlete from Little Rock, Arkansas, who was always a star in different sports. Came from a two-parent household, two God-fearing parents that are still happily married. They just came up on their 40th year anniversary. And so Dewan is a God-fearing Christian man that is here to utilize his platform to allow his light to shine.
So tell me a little bit about your journey before becoming the CEO of Central Maryland Chamber of Commerce.
My journey honestly was very unexpected. I actually got my first job out of college. I was a server at Papados. And that was probably one of the most humbling experiences because you go from being a star athlete, everybody knows you, to I moved to Houston, fourth largest city in the nation. Nobody knew me, to busting tables and waiting. But it really taught me the key things around customer service, always being professional. And they have a very, very highly important training program. So it allowed me to know how important training is and onboarding whenever you have new staff members.
So how long did it take for that transition or for you to be in that role before you decided that you wanted to one day be a CEO? How did that come about?
You know, it's interesting when people meet me, and I've probably taken this more lightly than I should. They always see more than me that I've seen in myself. So even when I was a server at Papados, the managers knew like, hey, you won't be here long. And I wasn't. A couple months later, I became a manager at Sam's Club. And there I was in the retail industry. And right now to this day, I say the retail industry is the most resilient industry across the country because they're forward thinking, they are change proof. They enjoy changing, and a lot of times they're the ones, no matter what disruption happens, they're at the forefront because they're open to change. And so I was in the retail industry for about 5 years, a few years at Sam's Club, a few years at Target, until I finally found my calling in the Chamber of Commerce industry in 2015.
So in your mind, you would say that you've always kind of had the drive to be a leader. Would you say that's an accurate statement?
Yeah, I always had the drive to be a leader. I didn't realize that I was demonstrating leadership qualities just because this was who I was. I was never a follower, always kind of took my own pathway. I always stood up for others when they couldn't stand up for themselves, and I always had a lot of supporters. And so once I really started tapping into leadership, thought leadership, servant leadership and what those things mean, I was actually able to start incorporating my version of a transformational leader.
So would you say are maybe 2 to 3 main qualities that a person should have to make them an effective leader?
First thing is be a good listener. A lot of times people are always doing most of the talking. So I have a leadership saying, be more interested than interesting. Be more interested in the person you're talking to, asking those right questions than interesting. So if I'm in a situation where I'm doing all the talking, I'm like, all right, Dewan, slow down. We know you love the chamber. You know you're passionate about the community, but dig in a little more, ask the right questions where you can learn more about the person you're talking to. So being a good listener. The second one is kind of what I said, asking those right questions. Questions are so powerful. And when you learn to ask the right questions, people will tell you what issues they want you to help solve. And then the third thing is integrity. Be a man of your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you are a leader of an organization, no matter if your team fails, in my situation, if your board fails, your staff fails, you step up and take that public ownership and humiliation as the leader of the company. Don't pass the buck on anybody else. Have integrity and always take accountability because that's how you can change things in the future.
That's very good. Those are very good points. So tell me one of the most standout times that it was challenging
I would say when I first got in the chamber industry. So I wasn't lucky like some presidents where, you get recruited outside in to run the organization. I worked my way up. So I started in 2015 as a director of special events. And honestly, I didn't know anything about office politics. I didn't know anything about government, advocacy, how those things work. And so it was really challenging for me. It was really challenging learning just business dialect, acumen, how things get done, how to work with elected officials. I was clueless. However, I quickly caught on and I began to scale and set records and thrive. And so from there, I was trained at one of the top 10 best chambers in the country. I didn't know it at that time, but got some grade A training for like 3.5 years, broke a lot of records. Then I was blessed to eventually run my own chamber.
Yes, that it truly is a blessing. And you did talk earlier a little bit about your faith. So how have you incorporated your faith within your organization?
Really just realizing that it's not about me, In a role where you're a change management expert, you get a lot of people that love you, but you always have those few that are really loud that really don't. And so I have to remind myself that one, you can't make everybody happy. Two, I am here called by God to lead his people in a certain way. So I have to remove my feelings to the side. And then three, I am called to conquer. And so wherever I go, I am bringing excellence. I want the best people around me. I want our work to be the best. I want everything to be done with excellence because we are called to conquer.
Dewan, let me tell you, you have done some amazing things. Conquer is not even the word. I mean, you have excelled a lot since becoming the new CEO for the Central Maryland Chamber. Talk to me about some of the things that you've accomplished over your first year.
Wow, and it's amazing that we're saying, 1 year. But just to say a few things, we successfully relocated our building. Our last office, it wasn't handicap accessible. We only had stairs to get up the stairs. And so what that meant to me is, what about how can we be more inclusive? We want the chamber to be a spot where everyone feels involved, especially in such a state where we want to help people with disabilities get jobs and have a normal life like we do. So as a chamber, we want to do business with anyone, no matter what you look like or if you have any disabilities. And so that was really major, moving locations to Hanover. Another one was our educational foundation. We set the record since the merger in 2027 with our fundraising efforts. And then the next generation of high school seniors, they're the beneficiaries of that. Now we can give scholarships to first-time college students. So that means people that are the first-time college students and their family, the Central Maryland Chamber Educational Foundation gets to invest in them and help break those generational curses. And so to say a couple of things, those are a few things that stood out this year.
Wow, that is amazing. Like the effort that you have made, the changes that you have already begun to make, it's just exploding with excitement and joy. And I'm so proud of all that you've done. So what do we have to look forward to in your next year?
Oh man, we got a lot of great things to look forward to. We will be the premier organization in the state of Maryland. So Central Maryland Chamber is the only regional chamber covering 7 counties plus Baltimore City, and we're going to be a one-stop shop organization from professional development to advocacy to workforce development. We want all the players involved. We have the abundance over scarcity mindset. And so if you are a business owner, if you are a large corporation, an entrepreneur, all the way down to a one-man shop, you have a place at the Central Maryland Chamber because this is where people do business and we're promoting commerce. We get networking. I know a lot of people love network. I've never really seen so many networking events till I moved up here. And that's all good, but we're here to push commerce, funds exchanging hands, businesses shopping local, businesses doing business together. And that's another thing, if you say what I'm excited about, all of the testimonials that have come from our members doing business together. know we have this wall of fame behind us, but some of our companies here, Tide Creek to be exact, they closed the largest deal in their company's history through a chamber referral. And so if you are not a part of the Central Maryland Chamber, you are leaving money out on the table. Come join us, come scale with us, and let's conquer Central Maryland.
And Dawn, that is exciting, and I'm excited for what you have upcoming, and I look forward to many, many, many days spent with you. But we cannot leave out this session without you saying your most famous line. We are
Stronger together.
awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dewan. It has been an exciting time with you today. I appreciate you, and I look forward to what the Central Maryland Chamber of Commerce has going on next.
All right, thank you, D&K Media Team. Remember, when you shop, shop local. Also, when you shop, shop chamber. Why? Because we're stronger together.